Alright, back into the fishing boat. 44%, so we're not even halfway, technically. But I'm hoping that we'll pick up a lot on this. I had to waste a lot of time just finding random bits of mold. Now it's pretty much just the hull. We have the hatch up here as well, so we'll do this first in the inside of the hull. But then we'll just be on the outside looking in. There's a song about that. It's almost a little bit moldy here. Hey, Razor. That time of the game.
Streamer reads the time of the month again. Nod horns, nod poke slide, nod horns, nod poke slide, nod horns, nod poke slide. I shivai pi backslash my power washer goes STSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTSTST
I love text-to-speech. Especially how it does all the emotes as well. This STS, STS. Thanks, Razor. I needed that. that woke me up. Worse than you hoped for, better than you expected. Absolutely. It isn't the text-to-speech that we wanted, but it's what we deserved. It's going alright. The respite stay for my daughter got from last weekend got cancelled, but rescheduled to this weekend, so I could technically be doing some speedrunning or something, but I want to finish this off. I want to move on with this game, ideally. Feels bad having all of these last levels just hanging over me still, so... And I mean, it does mean that I can just tackle this without having to worry about interruptions, so I can just blast away. I think the next map is also not, like, too huge, but quite technical, so maybe we get the next one done as well, but the finale, I feel, will be a task for another day. If we get to the point that I've still got some time available, but we've finished everything that I can feasibly do in this game today, then I might move on to some truck sim, because there's new trucks that I want to play with. And I kind of want to start working on the map exploration, even though I've already got the achievement. Yeah, I'm really interested in the new Volvo in American Truck Simulator especially, because they have the best engines in ETS, so I really hope they've transferred something of that across. They're much nicer trucks to drive than the old Peterbilts and stuff. Shorter wheelbase too, so better for turning. That'll be a case of whether or not even a more powerful engine outweighs the old version handling. It should do. I mean, even if you get just a... I'm really hoping that there's some engine gearbox combination that makes them better, because then even just a few extra miles an hour would easily trump handling gains. Finish vacuuming the house. Fair enough. Someone say hi first? Thanks. I need to vacuum the house too. I put off chores a lot when I have opportunities to do this instead. I'll do it later. We're picking Miss up this afternoon, and then have to be on family duty again, so vacuuming can wait. Chores take a very firm backseat to fun in our house a lot of the time. More than they probably should, but never mind. You take the best time and get it, exactly. It's, yeah. It's rare enough. And also it's GDQ this week, which means that streaming will be pretty much off the table next weekend, because I will be busy watching. It starts at like 4:30 AM for me on Monday morning, so like tomorrow morning it starts. And it finishes at like 8-9 PM or something next Sunday, so next weekend I'm going to be occupied. Yeah, chores don't go anywhere, no, they just get slightly more arduous sometimes. Yeah, some interesting looking runs at GDQ. I'm especially looking forward to Etiquette's Scarlet Violet run. And there's a few other interesting ones. Spike's doing a Majora's Mask Blitz randomizer run. Should be interesting. And it's just always a case of the ones that you don't expect are often sometimes the best. No Subnautica. Yeah. It's a hard one to show at a big thing like that. I know, and also Selv's done it before, right? So it's a case of, has it gotten different enough in that time? And I mean, the core of it is pretty much the same. Yeah, we do slightly different things here and there, but it's largely similar. So, you know, Dangerous Running FPS was so good. Ah, man, that was the highlight of last one. I kind of want to play that game now, that's the thing. I'm not very good at that style of game, but I kind of wanted to just after that. So he did his job very well. Not like SMB3 has changed, but it's still running all the time. Yeah, maybe. It's that balance, right? Because then there's the ones that people just expect to see. So, you know, they've got to cater for both sides of that. Show some newer games off, but also honor the fact that there's certain staples that people just want to see. And I think they usually try and get different people to run them and potentially do slightly different end conditions and stuff. But yeah, I don't envy them their position. They've got to draw the line somewhere. They've also got to consider whether or not it's that interesting and engaging for most viewers. So, you know, you're happy they have to deal with it, yeah. Because the thing with Subnautica is it's captivating if you're into it, but to like a casual person just watching it, all the inventory management and stuff, it's a very technical run. A lot of inventory management, a lot of things you're just having to remember and everything. And there's a lot of periods where you're kind of not doing much. There's a lot of just like travel time and stuff, which is great for donations. Like, I think it's good. I think it would work really well. Also, they've got to consider scheduling. You know, they want to have similar style games in like blocks that they can set up for and things. So it's a case of, well, where does it fit? So, I don't know. I suspect it would also just be a case of FFR has an entry in the better. FF... Oh, and Bigathon, yeah. Yeah, Bigathon should be fun. That's a couple of weeks' time, yeah. It's the sort of thing with Subnautica that all it would really take, I feel, is just having someone on the inside to kind of push it a bit. And that's really hard to do, but you'd basically have to get the ear of someone to be able to convince them, hey, this is good, and like, if they have any objections about it, be able to answer those objections and portray it in a positive light. And yes, suggest other games that it could maybe run alongside of and stuff. I don't know. Always the case of just, sometimes you got to put a little bit of extra effort in. Final Fantasy Rando, gotcha. Yeah, that should be good. Final Fantasy games have always intrigued me. But I haven't played many of them because they were generally exclusive console games, so... I do have 7, 8, 14... couple of others, I think, that were on sale on Steam. And I did pick up the remake, FF7 remake, recently. Which I don't know if I'll stream it. I don't know, it's one of those ones that I kind of want to, but at the same time, it'll take a fair amount of concentration and stuff, and I'll probably end up just playing it offline. There's a lot of games in my library that's like, if I was a full-time streamer, I would stream a lot of extra games and play a lot more different things, but as I'm not, and cannot really hope to be, I just have to bite the bullet and go, yeah, I'm not going to get to play that on stream, I should just play it myself. FF1 rando. Some of the really old games I'm just not so comfortable with. Mainly just because of the quality of life. Done by time on classics. Certainly adding rando elements to games does make them kind of more fun though. I have been thinking of getting back into doing some of the Subnautica bingos and using like that roguelike thing that Self came up with at one point. That could be a bit of fun. So that way you don't know what your next objective is until you unlock it, sort of thing. That'd look kind of fun. Fixed a ton of the bugs and speed up the game, right? Yeah, that is the good thing about those communities. It's the same with the Pokemon ones for speed choice. For the randomizers, is that, yeah, like the instant text, getting the bike early, little things like that really make the game much more of a pleasure to play. That's another one that I've been tempted to do, is do like a emulated run of just Pokemon Red or something, go back to basics. Gen 2 is probably my favorite overall. But Gen 1 I feel is just a bit easier to jump into. I'm not comfortable doing most, like, any of the manipulation stuff or anything like that though, so... Which is fine, I mean, most of that just comes down to resetting and stuff. And that's where randos would come into it as well, because it's not like you can do any of that stuff for a rando, so... It just all goes off the... completely off the board at that point. But the red run would be fun, like Nidoking's one that I did use a lot back when I was playing it originally, so kind of resonates the fact that they use that. So I identified pretty early on when I was playing it that, hey, this is a good one, can learn lots of good moves, very powerful when it evolves. When I wasn't just trying to make Charizard work everywhere, which is a terrible idea because of the type matchups, but Vacuum's yelling at you, fair enough. And vacuums are loud when they yell. They've got quite a voice to them. Yeah, I was always chronic when I was playing the Pokemon games, just try and make favorites work as a main. And just completely ignore what's actually good. Like Gyarados is one of my favorites, but water flying is a terribly fragile combination. Similarly, fire flying for Charizard. But I didn't care, I just wanted to make it work. And if someone had an electric type, I would just cry. Just hideously over level. The way later games dealt with XP sharing certainly helped with that. Didn't have to worry about like starting with one and then swapping out. You like start with your weak Pokemon and then swap out to your strong one in order to get it levels. Such a slow grind. And then the problem is that at some point you just kind of run out of trainers which give the best XP, and then wild encounters give you nothing. And it's like you just have to cheese gyms or something, so you just work your way to the final, like to the gym boss, to the leader, and farm XP on the first bunch of Pokemon and then just intentionally wipe on the last one. That's really annoying to do if you've got lots of lots of health and stuff. Or you've got to just like waste a lot of items to waste turns so that you're not actually doing damage, or you've got to intentionally keep bad skills so you can do that. Which you can do, like you just hold off on teaching some TM skill or something until much later. This deck wall is almost done. I was betting I missed something right at the end. Because I wasn't actually realizing that this was sectioned up like this. I think I just assumed it would be just one big thing. Yeah, it's just like random splashes every now and then. It's one of those cases where I can't tell whether it's dirt on my monitor or dirt on the screen. Those two mean the same thing. There we go. Cool. So we can do it in sections, which is nice. And actually the dividers are east as well, but presumably, yeah, they extend over the side a little bit. I could just go around the railing, to be honest. That might actually be a good idea. Go around the railing and get a bit of both sides. So much rust. Hey, good. I like getting that. Yeah, I guess we could just, yeah. The gunwale might actually be sectioned up along with those dividers as well, actually. But it probably also extends down the side a little bit, so I'll have to get the rest of it from below. But hey, if we can at least get the top of it nice and shiny. Scratch away this rust. And get a little bit of side splash on things as well. Yes. So the next thing I need to do at some point as well is think up ways to have extra bingo goals for Truck Sim. Because currently I literally don't have enough goals to make up a single grid, and I want more than that to make it more interesting. Yeah, so it's a case of having variety without it being too much the same, but then I'm also comforted by the fact that sometimes you get like the Super Mario bingos and stuff, and there's so many things which are like X number of coloured stars and stuff, so it's like sometimes you just don't have a big variety. Or they'll often all be kind of very similar. What matters is what you have to do to get them, and ideally not being able to tick off too many all at once, because that's what makes it a bit boring. Yeah, I'm thinking like deliveries to or from specific places like quarries or farms, or I'll need to check what there is in ETS2 actually. Logging companies, I can't remember. They're definitely an ATS, but might not be an ETS. Or even certain cargoes like deliver electronics or cars or stuff like that. I don't want it to be too DLC dependent. But at the same time, you can't let that hold you back too much. But then it's also like cars, for example, is high value and fragile, which is already two difficult objectives, because it's balanced around the idea that a run should take, yeah, an hour and a bit or so. You shouldn't have to get up to like level 5 or anything like that. mean, you could also do New Game plus Bingo as well. Nothing forces you to have to start from a new profile or anything, so you just ignore any level-based ones. Maybe I should just remove, like, instead of, I think, getting level 2, I think, is an objective. So maybe it just needs to be gain 1000 XP. So if you're not starting from a new game, you could still do it. I think it's only 700 XP for level 2 technically, but it's 1400 for 3. So if it did like gain 1000, that would be in between the two. It's actually not a bad idea. I mean, obviously in most games people do stuff like that right from 1, but I guess it's also like buying garages and stuff. Doesn't really work when you've already started, because you might already own them all. I forgot to move my Winamp window down so I can't actually see the songs that are playing. I wish this wasn't all just rust. This is going to take a while. The walls aren't necessarily, but just the top here, just when I went over it with the yellow, it's just caked. Yeah, I'm not gaining anything by doing that. I'll get the sides when I'm shooting at it from the inside, so I shouldn't worry about that too much. Ditto the outside. I just want to make sure I get the bit where it bends over. Just the curvature at the top. Which this should do. Except we keep missing bits. Slow it down, let's not be hasty. Treebeard's washing simulator. Don't be hasty. Bullrock. Is this sectioned? No, I see the gunwale. Looks like it's probably just one big bit that goes around the entire boat. Judging by how much is actually finished by me doing this. I was expecting it to be like sectioned up, but nope, not even halfway. Cool. Spin. Do our little turn on the gunwale. What even is that? Is that, oh, it's all just part of the gunwale as well. I expected that would have been a different hit. Okay. That's weird. Surely there's a name for that thing that sticks up with the fair lead on top. Prow, for example. I would have called that the prow and made it a separate cleanable. Never mind. there's all the stuff down here too, actually, because I was just doing the deck, because that was the achievement. I haven't done any of this mechanism stuff, which is also all rusty. And there's all the anchor chains, which probably have all manner of grime and filth on them. And also extends down the side anyway, so I can't even complete that. What even is that stuff? Lichen and algae. I thought that usually came off with just the yellow, but I guess not. Maybe it's just the weird angles. You know what? Easiest thing to do is just to chuck it on turbo and stand back a bit. It's all the weird angles on that stuff. Got a bit of backstop as well. Gonna have to do it from the other side and all sorts of things as well, no doubt. Probably want to stand up actually, because I probably actually want to stand up on the gunwale for all of this, quite frankly, because there's a downward angle component. There's these edges here. Tell already this is going to be a pain to finish off. Oh, it did. That's the other thing, is it looked like it wasn't clean, but that's because there's the reflection of the wall that's not clean. Maybe we should clean the wall first. You know what? Let's just go back to what we were doing, okay? Let's do this and then do the inside, and we'll know that it's done. So that way we won't get the awkward reflection. There's actually a higher part on the inside, so we probably do want to do the top of this to make sure we don't miss it from below. That should do it, I guess. That's, yeah, it's starting to get too far away to clean it properly anyway. From that distance. The front is going to be really annoying at this angle because we don't seem to have like a ladder or a scaffold or anything. Seems bizarre that we don't have something for out the front. Need like a lowering platform from the gantry to come down. Also, isn't this parked backwards anyway? Like, normally I think you'd have the back here and the front there. Whatever. just getting fixated on this at the moment. A lot of this actually looks... Yeah, a lot of this isn't actually rusty. It's just... We do want to go over some of this just with the yellow first, I think, because... Okay, now we're getting horrific again, but... Okay, that's a bit nicer. Quite so bad here. As long as there aren't actually little pieces I can't see that I've missed by doing that, but whatever, we'll find out. Expect to be burned. Maybe this is actually sectioned up, but it continues so much down the outside that it seems like I've still got a lot that I've missed. It's very satisfying watching the rust just kind of flake away. I don't care if it's realistic or not. It looks cool. Be nice if they just called it something else, not rust. I'd feel better about blasting it with water. It's like crusted seaweed almost. Oh, my alarm's going off. Oops. I forgot that I even set that. It's my alarm that usually tells me to, hey, have some breakfast. But I'm ahead of schedule today. I couldn't sleep in, so I just thought I may as well get up and stream there. Buy some extra time. Alright, so yeah, this gunwale is slightly over half done. And yeah, I'm guessing it's just because of how far it extends down here. We can get like this edge of it here, and then we're going to have to rely on getting it from the bottom. It's a little bit awkward. But yeah, that and that, yeah, two different things. Okay. And there's a lot of underhang. Okay. Gross. Let's see if we can get a divider at least. We might have been optimistic to think I'll even finish this, or if I do, I might not have much time left to do anything else, because this is gonna take a while. Some weird texture angles here going on too. Just get kind of lines in odd places. It's just the way that the mesh is folded, I guess. So we can do our best on the inside of the gunwale, but we will still have to get the outside. Which is annoying because that means we're probably going to have to come back in here and get tiny little things that we've missed. Which is why we try and go fairly slowly and methodically in the first place, but can only do so much. Especially when you're getting a rusty texture against red paint, it's kind of hard to see sometimes. Okay, so now over the whole of the inside we should do yellow first for the areas that aren't too bad, few and far between as they may be, because there's mold and rust. But there may be some clean patches. cleaner patches. There's one. That'll save us a bit of time from going over. That's all rusty on the inside. Wonderful. So rust at the top, mold at the bottom. Great. I almost feel it would be the opposite. Don't know. I feel like you get more accumulation of moisture at the bottom for the rust. Whereas at the top it would just be the persistent damp for the mold. Don't know. I have not spent much time on a fishing boat. I would hope that they, on the other hand, did their research. So I'm just going to assume that it's right. Not sure whether doing it up, down, or side to side is better on this. Whatever feels better at the time, probably. I guess the up, down means I'm getting a little bit of the underneath of that as well. In fact, what we should probably do is once again go back to a turbo nozzle. Assuming this is working. I'm leaving big bits behind still. Oh, that's right. This is one of the Deadfire... one of the Deadfire shanties that actually has lyrics. We'll skip that because it's just weird. Kind of funny, but not particularly in the mood right now. So this turbo seems to get through the mold well enough, but the rust just needs a little bit more time. Yeah, so it just went a little bit too fast over that, and you get a gap in the middle where it's spinning around. So the other thing is you can't kind of center it, you've kind of got to go over the edge and overlap it. And if you're having to overlap it that amount, it's like, is that better than just doing the red up and down? I don't know, I think it's still slightly better. Get a little bit of better coverage. I think just doing maybe short with the red from here, I think is just going to be better. Do our own sort of... oh, even that's missing bits. I guess maybe it's just thicker rust on the underside bits. I think we just go the side to side instead then. Just keep getting weird peaks. Might also be just some of that like mesh folding artifact as well still. Also the deck wall trim is actually a separate piece to the deck wall. Okay. Well, at least that will tell me where the problem is. I do have bits missing. This is the side that I haven't done as much on. It's getting there. Will it give me the ding? Yes. Unreasonably pleased at the fact that it gave me that. Now, the undersides of this we're probably going to have to get from the outside shooting in. Or we have to get the bottom of it from in here. Oh. Well. Nothing on the top after all. Excellent. What about you? No, lots on the top of this one. Oh, but maybe it all just... Oh, it all just comes off with the yellow. Ah, excellent. Ankle chain. Ankle what? I'm so funny. Get this windlass. That would be like a window siren would be a, or an air siren would be a windlass. Once again, I'm just seeing reflections. I need to finish off this bit. I forgot that the whole point of doing the deck wall first was so that I didn't get the reflections off that. So I'd actually know when it was clean. Now this lower bit isn't another trim piece. It's just deck wall. Weird that the top bit is trim, but the bottom bit is not. Whatever. At least we know we don't have to do the full bit. Going over with the yellow does have some advantages. Doesn't always help. But in this case, we've got large patches of wall that we know we don't have to go over again. Well, we hope. Let's start from the middle and work back, maybe. This gives our wrist a bit of different movement. Instead of going right to left all the time, we can go left to right for a bit. And maybe we do a little bit of diagonal. A little bit of diagonal arcing going on here. A little bit of circular motion. Mix it up a little bit. At least intuitive, but probably better for my health. Is the warning sign a separate piece, or is that just part of the deck wall as well? keep feeling like it's becoming blurry, and I don't know if it's the game or my eyes. Could be a bit of both. It seems the warning sign is just deck wall as well. That's a shame. That should have been separate. Captain is not responsible for any more anchor-related incidents. Any more? I mean, I feel the captain's usually responsible for everything, whether they like it or not, but... yeah, that bit's moving when I move, so it must be on here, not on my screen. Okay, well, let's just give this a bit of a extra wash over. I kind of wish that there was a little bit of a trim bit here that separated it into halves, but never mind. Would it have killed them to have, like, left bow deck wall and right bow deck wall? A few more descriptive terms so you know what that you're looking at, especially when it comes time to go back and find things later if you've missed getting a ding. Okay, so on this side at least we should no longer get reflections of dirtiness, so we should know if something is still unclean. That was definitely rust there. Feels like there's not much left. Is it going to be like awkward bits? There's the pipe for a start. I don't know how to get the rest of that. There we go, yeah, the windlass was underneath. I figured it might be. Oh, that'll be where the rest of the pipe is. Yeah, there we go. The chain, I mean, half of it's outside the boat looks like, probably, so whatever. Okay. The rest of this part of the deck wall, and hopefully we get the ding for it once we get around to the side. We started at 44%, we haven't even done 10% in almost an hour, and yeah, Subway 2.0. Instead of mold, it's rust. I'm looking forward to doing this one for the pro. Go a little bit faster over the bits that just mold. It comes off a little bit easier. It still needs the red nozzle to do properly, but it does come off a bit quicker than rust. rust and mold down the bottom there. Almost there. If you ain't have a drink. It'd be nice to have some, like, well, there's a few clouds. They don't stand out much though. Maybe some seabirds or something, I don't know. The waves are at least moving. It just feels very dead around here. I think there's all the cats and stuff that we saw walking through the desert are now all over the houses, I think. We'll see them better from the rear of the boat. I feel they should have been out here on the dock or something instead. Come on. Okay, to be fair, I can see a couple of bits there that I missed. Probably bits just around the bottom here. Right and close to the windlass, perhaps. Trying to see anywhere that I've missed that's obvious without me having to just tab spam the whole time. But I think it'll just come down to having to do that. Okay, so a bit there by the deck. Yep, a few more things around here. It's just sporadic little orange dots showing up that otherwise I'm not really seeing with the naked eye. Getting a few on the gunwale as well, which is nice. That'll help me later. There we go. Good enough. Excellent. So that's the deck wall, both anchor holes, and the trim, the gunwale. We will finish from the outside. The windlass is done. The pipe is done. The chain is probably needing mostly attention from the outside. It would actually be nice to finish that now, if I can. Simply to know that it's done. Oh, and we've got shanty again. I need to just skip those off, because they're kind of annoying. Yay, there we go. That's the chain done. That's the bit that I was mostly worried about, because I just didn't want to have to go inside again, basically. While we're here, we may as well do the anchor. Plop. And we just get the boat itself as a backstop, which is nice. Blistering barnacles. Of course, we'll have to do it from the other side as well, which we won't have a backstop for, but that's alright. Once again, I think there's a lot of reflection of that. Makes it a bit annoying. I wonder if I should be turboing this instead. But also it's, you know, it's not flat, so I should actually be doing it a couple of different angles, not just front and back. Right. And then this angle. Hard to get the top of those bits though. Stand back a bit further, I guess. We've missed tons of bits on this, I think. Some barnacle bits. Lots of bits on top, looks like. And yeah, I think just needing to turbo a bunch to get different angles. Don't mind the brightness of the sun when I hit tab on the hull above us. I think it might be a case of just leaving the anchor till pretty much last so that I can look at it from the other side against the hull and not just have the whole hull show up as yellow. Right, so I guess... well, let's test out what this all is first. And sure enough, there's a lot of rust. Great. It's really annoying that we don't have a scaffold in front or something. We're just gonna have to, like, extra long. Oh, these barnacles are gonna be annoying. So I'm guessing they don't come off without the red or the turbo as well. Do extra long and find out if it's a distance thing. No, it's not just a distance thing. Don't know what we're sliding on. The steps? I guess. Oh, we have starboard hull and port hull, at least it's not all just hull. Really hard to see whether or not I've cleaned this properly. It's just rust against red. Need to get a good angle so that I can get a bit of reflection off it or something. Why does it feel like this isn't cleaning properly? Very annoying. Okay, so the gun well, I need to do the other side too. Got the epic music going though. I'd really hoped that the bottom hull wouldn't have been so bad because it wouldn't have had rust, but it's got barnacles instead, which is worse. Oh well. Some of the hull is just like grime. Still needs a fair amount of attention, but doesn't need the turbo nozzle at least. Alright, keel. Well, at least do the underside of the gun well with yellow. And then uncover the name. We'll get what we can done here. So there's port hull trim, a different port hull, another port hull trim, and then another port hull. They couldn't call it like upper and lower? Just, you know, thinking logically. Upper port hull trim, lower port hull trim. a little bit easier. It's probably a better angle for this from higher up. Though the middle and lower portions are better done from down here for sure. And while the bottom of the gunwale is better done from here in some respects with the angle, it's really hard to see what you've cleaned. But I think we have to for here. We're barely reaching it though. Once again, a little bit of scaffold would have been nice, but I didn't see any. Guess we can stand up here? This bit, perhaps? Really like to get this gunwale bit done, so that way I just don't need to worry about going back on board for this front section at all. It's really hard to get this stuff. I mean, to be fair, they don't expect you to be using this washer, so... If I want to do the gunwale, I need to make sure I take it all the way down the end there first. Hey, good, it was generous. That's comforting. Okay, so I think I want to do the inside of the rest of the deck wall first before I do too much more on the outside. But since we've started this blue strip, we may as well finish it. Alright. Cool, so that's a little bit of the outside done. We've done the anchor wall, the anchor chain rather, and the, I keep falling off, and most of the anchor itself. So that's a good start. Everything else on the middle of the deck is done. It's just around the outside. So we'll just put it on, honestly, just the stubby again, I think, and get ready to do more of the gunwales. I think we'll work our way around this way a bit further, because we've already done these bits here. Yeah, so we'll work around the aft and go around the other side. But first we're going to take a short break, and we'll be back in a moment.